Tonight, we report on vehicular assault charges against a federal wayman and why hot rods toured Grant County on Saturday. What's happening in sports, Bob?
Action was a bit dicey at Freighter Raceway Park Saturday, and the Quincy Jacks are ready to butt heads on the gridiron. Let's take a peek at our Weather Center forecast.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cristina Sanchez. We do have a cold front approaching that is bringing a chance for showers and also a change in temperatures. I'll have all the details just ahead with your extended forecast.
I'm Amber Jenks, and we have all this and much more on iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News, your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
A man allegedly tried to get two people to lie for him after he injured a woman when he was driving drunk. Prosecutors charged Connor Gleason, a 23-year-old Federal Way resident in Grant County Superior Court, with vehicular assault, 2 counts of witness tampering, and forgery. Gleason was allegedly drinking at the Moses Lake Sand Dunes on May 23rd before he began driving a Toyota FJ Cruiser through the dunes with his girlfriend. The SUV allegedly went off a drop-off and the woman hit the dash and broke her nose. Gleason reportedly drove to a nearby campsite and they contacted police. The victim and witnesses allegedly told police Gleason was driving. His blood alcohol level was reportedly .18. Roughly a week later, Gleason allegedly convinced the victim to sign a statement claiming someone else was driving the SUV. He reportedly tried to convince another man to admit to driving the vehicle and later forged his signature to a second statement. The victim allegedly admitted the statements were fake. Gleason claimed 2 different people were driving the SUV at the time of the incident. More than 7,000 hours of reading was logged at the Moses Lake Public Library for their annual summer reading program. Reporter Devin Higgins has the story.
At the Moses Lake Public Library on Friday, kids and their parents turned out along with members of the Masonic Lodge to celebrate the end of the annual summer reading program and to give some hardworking readers a well-deserved award. Congratulations. For 4 avid readers, they got to go home with a new bicycle, courtesy of the Lodge and Walmart. Mason Shane Johnson talked about the program and how it helps promote child literacy.
So we sponsor the library in their summer reading program by donating bikes to it that they can give away to the kids with the goal of boosting literacy in our area. And we contribute bikes, 4 bikes to Moses Lake Library, 2 bikes to the Warden Library, and 2 bikes to the Royal City Library. And we've been doing that every summer for 15 years and hope to be doing it for the foreseeable future. According to library officials, more than 1,200 children and teenagers took part in this year's program, with 240 getting the required 10 hours of reading to qualify for a bike. In all, nearly 7,000 hours of reading was logged over the summer, and Johnson said he'd love to give a bike to every child who spent their summer vacation exploring the world of books. I wish we had the means to give everybody a bicycle. I mean, it's, yeah, for sure, it's awesome. In Moses Lake, Devin Higgins for iFIBER 1 News.
A small group of Moses Lake residents are risking their lives among the firefighters battling the Okanagan Complex fire. Brent Pickering was among the first round of volunteers to arrive in Omak as thousands of people were forced to evacuate the largest fire in the state's history, but he was turned away by the Department of Natural Resources. According to his father, Jeff Pickering, Brent and the group of volunteers joined a local group and initially worked in a support role near Omak, but were provided emergency shelter and firefighting training, and now are battling the flames. While the group is being fed and taken care of in Omak, Pickering said they need help with expenses. A GoFundMe account has been set up. The link is available online at GoFundMe's website or iFIBER1.com. Any funds left over will be donated to fire victims. One person was injured after 2 semi-trucks and 4 vehicles collided on State Route 17 in Moses Lake. Wesley Hinderer, a 22-year-old Spokane resident, was driving a blue 2014 Peterbilt semi-truck north on SR 17 Thursday afternoon. He was approaching Nelson Road when he reportedly swerved to avoid colliding with a vehicle stopped at a red light and struck a green 2007 Volvo semi-truck. According to the Washington State Patrol on Friday, the Volvo semi-truck was reportedly pushed through the intersection and collided with a 2002 Honda CR-V, 2010 Toyota Camry, 2003 Dodge Ram, and a 1984 Chevrolet Caprice stopped at the light on SR-17. The driver of the Honda, 44-year-old Moses Lake resident Karen Earl, was injured and taken to Samaritan Hospital in Moses Lake. The State Patrol issued Hinderer a ticket for following another vehicle too close. Now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
We'll be back right after this.
My name is Kat Sanderson, Managing Broker for Pillar Rock Realty Group. We love the Columbia Basin because it's our home, and we want to give back to our community by kicking off our Pay It Forward campaign. If you buy or list with us, we will donate 1% of our total proceeds to a local charity of your choice and in your name. Call us today at 754-4444 or visit pillarrockrealty.com because we are your local real estate experts.
What's white and yellow and red all over? If you said the local book telephone directory, the one with the purple sunset on the cover, then you're right. In print and online at statewideyp.com, it features up-to-date local maps, community information, and a calendar of events. With a restaurant dining guide with full local menus and a reverse directory, you're sure to find the number you're looking for. It's the best way to get the information you need. Pick up a copy of the local book today or visit statewideyp.com.
Now for your iFIBER 1 News Weather Center forecast.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Cristina Sanchez with your local weather segment brought to you by Barry Motors, one great place to buy and service a car. Temperatures will continue to be below normal for the next few days. We do have a cold front that will be arriving for Wednesday afternoon, bringing still that chance of showers across the mountains and also along the Cascades. Throughout the next few days for us, we will stay dry. However, we will continue to have those windy conditions. For Wednesday afternoon, we do expect gusty winds with wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour into Wednesday evening. This morning, we did start off the day in the lower 50s. Our average low temperature for this time of year is in the mid 50s, so closer to that low average, but still well below the average high temperature for this time of year, which is in the lower 80s. Our high temperature today for us here in Ephrata, right around the upper 70s, and our record high temperature was set back in 1967, and the record high was 101. Our sunset at 7:40, and your sunset for you in Moses Lake at 7:39. Your record high temperature was set back in 1998, and the high temperature was 99 degrees. This morning, your low temperature above average. Your average low is in the lower 50s. This morning's low temperature in the upper 50s for you in Moses Lake, and today's high right around the upper 70s. Currently, we still have those temperatures right around the mid 70s, comfortable conditions out there, mostly cloudy skies and very low humidity across the area. Winds blowing from the west-southwest up to 15 miles an hour with wind gusts up to 20 miles an hour throughout the overnight hours. Here we do have a cold front that is moving into the area from our west along the Cascades, bringing that chance of showers throughout this Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, and this cold front will be moving into the region for Wednesday, bringing breezy conditions with wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour. However, we do expect to stay pretty dry, and it'll still bring that chance of showers just to our west and especially along the Cascades, but dry for us here within our Columbia Basin for this Wednesday and Thursday, and also within the next 24 hours. For you in Seattle, you do have that chance of showers as that cold front is moving into the area. Your high temperature for this Tuesday in the upper 60s, Long Beach, mid 60s, and in the Yakima, high temperatures right around the lower 80s, mostly cloudy skies, but plenty of sunshine for the inland northwest, with high temperatures right around the mid 70s, and of course plenty of sunshine. As we take a closer view within our Columbia Basin, our high temperatures will be right around the upper 70s for us here in Ephrata once again on Tuesday afternoon. Also for you in Moses Lake, Royal City, your high temperature right around 80 degrees for this Tuesday afternoon. Quincy mid-70s as a high with mostly cloudy skies. We do have windy conditions for Wednesday afternoon, highs in the lower 70s, so we will have that decrease in temperatures by the middle of this week with low temperatures in the lower 50s. Thank you for being with us.
Paying your Grant PUD bill with ePay is like getting free cuts in line. You pay when you want, how you want. Get free cuts in line with Grant PUD ePay. Visit grantpud.org.
Oh, dude, I'm just in the theater. It's totally cool.
Ah.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you may find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
But you're not even covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
Or how you may be covered for this, but not for something like this. Talk to farmers and see what gaps could be hiding in your coverage.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
A harvest moon on a Saturday evening is typically majestic, but it's a bad moon rising for superstitious race car drivers.
The negative juju was in full force, wreaking havoc on the quarter-mile oval at Ephrata Raceway Park as stalls, spinouts, and collisions produced mounds of mangled steel and shattered fiberglass. The mishaps began in the heat races and continued throughout the evening. Ephrata's Rick Breaches held the initial lead of the 30-lap Jerry's Auto Supply Racing Series race until he and Bill Rutherford from Moses Lake made contact in turn 4. Both cars suffered significant damage. Royal City's Sid White and John Haygood from Ephrata raced door-to-door in the early stages of the Schaefer Oil Mini Stocks A-Division feature. But it was Haygood powering his way to the finish line. Brad Arneson took Heat B. Brothers Adam and Joe Smith battled for supremacy in the Pepsi Racing 360 sprint cars, and it was Adam shooting the gap in the final turn to take the checkered flag. Tyler and Kyle Lar finished 1-2 in the Pioneer Muffler 2 V6 supercar competition. Cody Day from Granite Falls survived unscathed to take the top spot in the East versus West Challenge in the Inland Oil and Propane Bump to Pass division.
Quincy High was the second stop on our preseason football preview circuit. The Jacks have what they believe it takes to contend with the best in the league. Here's Sean Wells with the story.
The Quincy Jacks are gearing up for a strong 2015 season. With only one returning starter on offense and 3 on defense, the Jacks are ready for new players to step up. Quincy head coach Stephen Wallace thinks his kids are ready for the challenge.
We actually had a junior dominant JV team last year, so you know there's like I said, they're unknown. You don't know how it's going to transfer over to Friday, but they definitely have got a lot of experience playing together. So it worked out pretty good last year for us. This is 2 years now running where we pretty much have a senior team because kids are staying in the program from freshmen. They're going sophomore, juniors into the JV program, and they're moving up as seniors.
Quincy will rely heavily on their defense this season. Coach Wallace is excited about the leadership his players provide on that side of the ball.
You know, the defensive guys are already kind of giving people tips on, you know, what to look for versus certain teams, what kind of reads to check out. So that's nice to have some extra coaches on the practice field as well like that. We got a couple of good seniors we can lead on.
One game the Jacks circle on their schedule every year is the Battle of the Basin. Quincy senior George Ruiz is fired up to get back on the field and face his rival one last time.
Ephrata has to be Ephrata, you know. I mean, our rival has been going on for quite a few years now, and it's been pretty intense. And also, as he was saying, it gets crazy, it gets rowdy, you know, we'll be ready, so we're looking forward to it.
For iFIBER 1 News, Sean Wells.
We'll be back after this short break.
You don't have to drive to Seattle for exceptional cancer care. Confluence Health's cancer program delivers world-class care close to home. We have a highly experienced oncology team in a state-of-the-art facility, and we're a member of the Seattle Cancer Care Alliance, which gives our patients access to world-renowned therapies developed at Fred Hutchinson, the University of Washington Medicine, and Seattle Children's. Together with the SCCA, we're delivering world-class cancer care close to home.
Our spotlight story tonight is about the upcoming Pioneer Day at the Grant County Museum. The annual celebration marks the closing of the museum's summer season. Reporter Jeff Chu has the story.
Grant County history buffs and families, mark your calendar. Pioneer Days is fast approaching in Ephrata. Grant County Museum celebrates the closing of its summer season at 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, September 26th. Museum Director Pat Witham gave a rundown on what can be expected at this year's Pioneer Day.
There'll be people, a host or hostess in every building, and they will explain the history of the building. Now, some of these buildings are actual historic buildings that have been moved here, and then we have a lot of them that were built, which we classify as a replica. But each and every building, and totally we have 38, has artifacts in them from the period. And like the one-room school has the old desks, the old pans that they wash their hands in using lye soap, and the rolled towels. And then we have the pull-down maps. And the salon has even a pool table that is from the early 1900s. And there's a lot of artifacts in every building.
The Pioneer Village includes the original Queen of Angels Catholic Church, a millinery shop, and a jail that makes today's county lockup look like a resort. Speaking of jail, Witham talked about the Grant County Sheriff's Posse's show.
And they will have their typical street shootouts. They'll rob the bank. And of course, the highlight with the kids is the stick horse races. And they give them trophies. And they're broken up into age groups. And it's real cute to see a 4-year-old come walk out with a trophy. It really is.
Witham said there is much more to see and experience at Pioneer Day.
And there's a country store, a homestead, firehouse, livery stable, and an old-time meat market that has all the old meat cutting equipment in it and the chopping blocks.
Witham said more than 800 attended the event last year, and she hopes for more.
We have a lot of historic items, and what we do is keep them in safekeeping. They're all held in public trust, and we preserve them so they will last.
Ephrata American Legion Post 28 hosts a barbecue at the event, serving hot dogs and hamburgers to benefit area veterans. Pioneer Day is one of 2 fundraisers the museum's volunteer staff puts on. Proceeds go to museum maintenance.
We all work together to make it all come together. And it's your last big hurrah, because we close on the 30th of September and we'll be closed until next May.
Cost is $350 for adults and $250 for students. Children ages 5 and under get in free. I'm Jeff Chu for iFIBER 1 News.
We'll be right back after this.
Quincy Foods, LLC, a subsidiary of Norpac Foods, is seeking motivated individuals to fill the positions of general laborer for their corn harvest season. They have full-time seasonal openings, must be 18 years old and older, willing to work swing shift. Great people to work for in a challenging food processing environment. Apply at 222 Columbia Way in Quincy between 8 and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, or online through WorkSource. Quincy Foods is an equal opportunity employer.
At Moses Lake Community Health Center, we have had the privilege to serve the local community since 1978.
What I like about working at this clinic more than any other clinic that I've worked at is the patient care. With the patient care team that we've assembled, it allows us to take care of as many facets of the patient and their family's needs.
Please take the opportunity to experience the high-quality care provided at our clinics.
Welcome back. A woman found carrying more than $4,000 worth of methamphetamine is going to prison. Lillian Cushman, a 23-year-old Soap Lake resident, pleaded guilty in Grant County Superior Court to possession of heroin and methamphetamine with the intent to manufacture or deliver. She was sentenced to a drug offender sentencing alternative and serving a year and 8 months in prison. A Moses Lake police officer tried to stop Cushman on April 3rd. According to Moses Lake Police, Cushman fled police until she collided with a Dodge Ram pickup truck. She ran from the collision until a police officer caught her near a Clover Drive business. Officers found 2 bags, about 46 grams of meth in Cushman's purse. A container with heroin was located in a bag in the trunk of her car. A first annual hot rod poker run through Grant County on Saturday helped raise funds for the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation. Reporter Devin Higgins has the details.
If you were out and about in the wild winds on Saturday, chances are you also heard the sound of some classic horsepower from some classic cars. Moses Lake's Sick Boy Greaser Club met at Lozier Park, braving both the breeze and some relentless tumbleweeds to put on the first annual Rebel Hot Rod Poker Run, raising money to combat juvenile diabetes. According to the members, the club came together about 8 years ago to honor a longtime friend who perished in a fire and has become an outlet for car enthusiasts to both have fun and stay out of trouble. About 20 drivers from across Grant County and even Wenatchee turned out, bringing classic cars, custom roadsters, trucks, some more contemporary muscle, and even a touch of the eclectic in the name of a good cause. Club President Matt Johnson's wife, along with the wife of another member, were diagnosed with the disease at an early age, so the group decided their first annual event would raise money for the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation. The poker run began with drivers drawing a playing card at the first stop, then drawing 4 more at checkpoints along the rest of the course in the hopes of piling up the best possible hand. The run headed out from Moses Lake and stopped in Wilson Creek's Harvest Moon Saloon and Soap Lake's Del Red Pub, with Sick Boy members serving as dealers and scorekeepers. After stopping in Ephrata, the convoy came back to the club's home garage at Muscle Car and Upholstery in Moses Lake for a barbecue, live music, and giving away prizes for the best and worst hands, as well as donated raffle items. Johnson said that despite the weather, he was pleased with the turnout and hopes to make the poker run an annual event to support other worthy charities throughout Grant County. In Moses Lake, Devin Higgins for iFIBER 1 News.
A man is accused of forcing a woman into a van to testify for him in court. Prosecutors charged Laddie Allen Avery, a 21-year-old Moses Lake resident, in Grant County Superior Court with unlawful imprisonment. Allen Avery allegedly went to his ex-girlfriend's home on the morning of August 25th because she was supposed to testify for him during a hearing at the Grant County District Court on Wheeler Road. The two reportedly began to argue after a man answered the door at the victim's home. As part of the argument, the woman decided not to go to court for Allen Avery. In response, he allegedly picked the woman up and put her in a van driven by his grandmother. The argument reportedly continued, and Allen Avery's grandmother reportedly pulled to the side of the road and told him to get out. He allegedly refused, and the 2 women got out. The 3 reportedly argued on the side of Pioneer Way, and witnesses called 911. In Northwest News, many said goodbye Sunday to the 3 firefighters killed in northern Washington while fighting the wildfires. Family, friends, and hundreds of grateful strangers paid their respects during a memorial in Wenatchee. Cairo's Nick McKirk has the story.
Pretty darn dirty. It was pretty normal.
Normal for Richard Wheeler looked a lot like this. A 4th-generation firefighter, he was living his dream. Until August 19th, when he and 2 other Forest Service firefighters died. Their vehicle crashed and was overcome by fire.
But for me, I think it's going to be the random texts, the phone calls, asking how the crew's doing.
Today, his fellow firefighters talked about how much he will be missed.
But I want you to know that you and your family will always be a part of Wenatchee River, especially Crew 7-4.
The crew remembered today included 2 other firefighters, Tom Bashevsky and Andrew Zajac.
Every moment of Andrew's life is precious to me. To tell you anything would require me to tell it all, and that would take almost 27 years.
At today's service, we learned that Zajac grew up planting trees and loved working to save them from fire.
We are devastated by Andrew's death.
20-year-old Tom Bashevsky, his parents said, always stood up for the underdog. He had the deepest well of compassion for everyone he met. 3 men died fighting the largest wildfire in Washington State's history, and tonight, a pledge to never forget their sacrifice.
Giving one's life to protect the lives and property of others. It's as noble a sacrifice as a human being can make.
And there were about 2,200 people who attended this service. More firefighters would have come, but they're busy tackling the state's largest ever wildfire. In Wenatchee tonight, Nick McGurk, Cairo 7 News.
That's going to do it for us here at iFIBER 1 News. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.